Hey guys, and welcome to another fantastic edition of Phillips Podcasts. If you would, please grab your spiral, in particular, the spiral that you're going to be putting your notes and homework in. And today's podcast is going to be on lesson 1.6. We're going to talk about functions today. Lesson 1.6, functions. For those of you that are this will make no sense. But for those of you who are paying attention for your Hunger Games training, yes, you may have noticed we skipped over lesson 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5. The reason why we skipped lesson 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5 is because the chances of that material being on the EOC is very, very unlikely, if it's even on it at all. However, my past experience in the arena tells me that lesson 1.6 and functions will be an enemy that you face during the Hunger Games. So grab your spiral, let's get to work. Alright, when we're talking about functions, there's a couple of vocabulary words that I would like you to write down for me. Please write the vocabulary word domain. Please write the vocabulary word domain. Anytime we talk about the domain, we're talking about the X value or the input. Domain is the X value or the input. The Y value in math is referred to as the range, so please write range down. The Y value is referred to as the range or the output. An easy way for you to remember functions is King Xavier starts with an X. King Xavier ruled over a very large domain. King Xavier ruled over a very large domain or kingdom. The yak like to graze or eat the grass out on the range. The yak, which is your Y, like to graze on the range. Please do not write this down, but let's go through this very quickly. Functions can be described in several different ways. A function can be described as an equation. A function can be described as an input-output table. So look right here. This is an example of an input-output table. I'm sure you've seen those in math before. The input is your X or your domain. The output is your Y, the yak, like to graze on the range. Okay? Functions can be expressed in words. They can be expressed in graphs. We'll take a look at those in the next week or so. And functions can be described as ordered pairs. All right, I put just a little star here, LOL, because this information is going to be very important to help you survive the enemies in the arena of the Hunger Games. So pay close attention and make sure that you write this down. If you would, let's go find the magic pen, and I'm going to ask that you copy down this input-output table. Please put an X and a Y. Underneath your X or input, put 1, 2, 3, 4. Underneath your output, put 0, 1, 2. Please draw the arrows like they are on your screen, and please copy the arrows like they are on your screen. All right, guys, please write next to your input-output table that this is a function. This is a function. And the reason why it's a function, if you look at your x's, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. My x's do not repeat. This is a function because my x's do not repeat. Or you can think of it this way. There is one x for every y. There's only one x for each y. Now you might say, Mr. Phillips, 3 goes to 2 and 4 goes to 2. That's okay. You might want to jot down on your paper, the x or the y's can repeat. The x can repeat, but the King Xavier or the x's cannot repeat. The x's cannot repeat, so make sure you get that written on your paper. Okay, we'll do a couple more. It should make sense in just a minute. Just remember that the kings cannot repeat, but your yaks can repeat. You can have a repeat in the Y table. All right, if you would, please draw this input-output function table. X, and then you have 1, 2, 3, Y, 0, 1, 2, and please put your arrows like they are on the screen. Most importantly, notice here that 2 in blue comes over here to the red 2, and 2 in blue comes over here to the red 1. We have a problem. The X repeats, it goes to the red 2, and this X repeats, it goes to the red 1. So think of it this way. If you have one X for 2 Y's, I have the number 2 for 2 Y's over here. It is not a function. This is not a function. So please write on your paper, it is not a function. Think of it this way. Your Y's can repeat, but the King Xavier's cannot repeat. Check it out. I've got 2 kings that are repeating. Right here and right here. That is bad news, because whenever you have 2 kings that repeat, you got it. When you have 2 kings that repeat, there's going to be a huge war. Death, mayhem, destruction everywhere. When you have 2 kings that repeat, there's going to be a huge war. So this is not a function because my blue king, the blue 2, repeats here and here. All right, if you want to write these down, go ahead. I'm going to go rather quick because we're kind of up against the clock here, but you can always go back to YouTube or Blackboard and watch it again. Tell whether this input-output table is a function. Well, the first thing that I notice is 0 goes to 2 and 0 goes to 3. My kings cannot repeat. The 0 repeats right here with the 2 and 3. So I'm going to have a war. This is not a function. This is not a function. No, not a function. Next example. Again, you can copy them down quickly, or you can go back to YouTube and Blackboard and get it later today. Is this input-output table a function? Well, let's look at our kings. I have 0, 1, 4, and 6. My king does not repeat. My king does not repeat. So yes, this is a function. 0, 1, 4, and 6, no repeat here underneath the X. Next example. Tell whether the pairing is a function. I'm looking at my input or my X. Ooh, we got problems. I have 2 King Xaviers in the same kingdom. That's right, there's going to be a war because the X repeats. So this is not a function. No, it's not a function. And there is one more example. Tell whether the pairing is a function. Well, if I look at my domain nice vocab, my X, I've got 3, 6, 9, and 12. The kings do not repeat. But, Mr. Phillips, my range nice vocab, my Y repeats. Well, that's okay, because remember, the yaks can repeat. That's okay. My kings cannot repeat. So since my kings do not repeat, yes, this is a function. Alrighty, peeps. As always, you can catch a copy in YouTube or Blackboard. BRIANJP72. Yeah, buddy. And woohoo! I'm up to 6 subscribers and 42 videos viewed. Keep it up, kiddies. Pretty soon, I'm going to run out of fingers to count my subscribers, and I'm going to have to go on to counting on my toes. Keep getting that number bigger. Later.